Hi, everyone. So I'm here today with the astrology of October 13th through the 19th. I hope you are ready for this week. And the biggest takeaway of the entire week is that Pluto will be going to, direct in the sign of Aquarius. Um, Biggest thing I need to tell you is to try to keep yourself calm, relaxed, and kind of like in check. Just because when Pluto goes direct in Aquarius, it's kind of like your subconscious self, the self that you hide from people, it's coming out and it's going to be showing itself to everybody around you. And the biggest takeaway from this week that I'm feeling is this feeling of wearing shoes that are too small for you, like two sizes too small. You can no longer walk in them. They're starting to get you frustrated, and you're just going to rip them off and throw them away. So be mindful that at times there are certain connections that you can't just automatically rip off and throw away. And you need to like stick to it for a little bit longer until you adjust and move forward. So keep yourself calm and be mindful in these movements forward, okay? Because there are a lot of changes that will be taking place. So let's get ready for this entire week. Monday, October 13th. The moon will still be in the sign of Cancer. We had seen that since last week, Sunday. So, whatever you were feeling on Sunday, taking care of yourself, taking care of your home, taking care of things that are the small connections in around you, those relationships that are vital for your foundation. That's big to do again for Monday. The only difference is that Venus enters the sign of Libra. When Venus enters Libra, and this is the focus of these two energies together, and Venus will be in Libra all the way till November 6th, this is one of those energies where relationships have to have a turnaround. I know that sounds like very business oriented, but it's kind of one of those things where you're going to really take an inventory of the people that you're connecting to, and if they're giving you your same worth or value, right? Like, is this relationship that I'm investing in? It can be work, it can be these connections to all these videos on YouTube, it can be school, it can be a romantic relationships, family relationships, all kinds of dynamics, right? Even like, let's say, as far as a membership in some kind of app. Okay. If what you're investing in it is actually giving you the turnaround that you want, and if you're going to continue with it, this thought process of does this make sense is going to continue until November 6th. So keep that in mind. You might seem a little cold to people, but it's because you're now starting to like separate the weed from the shaft and noticing what still works for you, what will give you what you need, what is going to balance your energy, and what no longer serves you. So just keep that in mind. It's going to start already on Monday. So now we get to the spicy day of the week, which will be this Tuesday, the 14th. Tuesday, the 15th, the moon is leaving the sign of Cancer. So we're no longer thinking about ruffling our nest and making ourselves comfortable, and we're shifting it into the sign of Leo, which is entering our egoic mind, our prideful mind, our energy of leadership. Okay. Now, Pluto also goes direct in the sign of Aquarius. This is revealing all those internal mental turmoils that you've been like kind of holding back. I feel like it feels like a dam. We've been thinking all this stuff, but we're holding it back, holding it back, holding it back because it might hurt people. It might not feel right. You don't want to ruffle any feathers, etc., etc. But that is kind of like the dam opening up and the water starting to flow through. Very mindful of it because of the fact that we are also with this Venus in Libra, where we're kind of like, you know what, I've been thinking about this for a while, and you don't deserve my energy. You don't deserve my money. You don't deserve my resources. You don't deserve the ideas that I have. I'm going to move in different directions. Do you see how this energy can be very chaotic? Because it's kind of like everything that's been held in for so long is just going to explode out. And then we have this opposition. And oppositions, if you've been here enough, oppositions for me are waves, right? They're waves of emotions that are crashing upon you. And what they're doing is checking your foundation, checking if this makes sense. Whatever, let's say, app you're signed up for, whatever subscription you have, whatever job you're in, whatever relationship you have, whatever mindset you have. It's just kind of waving back and forth in it. So not only are the dams open, but you're getting a wave. And what's the wave? Neptune in Aries. And you know that Neptune is in retrograde in Aries for like 15 years. Okay. And what Neptune in Aries does is make you wonder, why did I do this? Why did I accept this membership? Why did I accept this person? Why did I sign up for this school? Why did I do this and this and this? And you're wondering because you're trying to see if it makes sense to your sense of identity, because Aries is all your masculine in the first house sense of identity. Okay. And then we have this energy where you're creating, besides all that, because that's not enough, okay, we also have trines being created. Those are triangles of energies coming back at you, right? So it's like a boomerang energy that's flowing and flowing and flowing back to you. And what is being flowing back to you is the Venus energy is trying, right? That return of energy with Venus and Libra, where you're balancing things out. What's coming back is Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus, okay? Why is this important? Uranus is all about swift and abrupt change. This is like, I'm done. And Pluto is, this is not me. Why am I here again? Okay. So just think about this. This is why I told you it's like wearing a pair of shoes that were like 2 sizes too small, but they look so cute with this outfit. And by the end of the day, you feel you have like all kinds of blisters. Your fingers are all cramped up. You can barely walk. You're not entertaining yourself the entire night because all you're doing is focusing on how much this hurts, right? And so, of course, my instant reaction, your instant reaction, our instant reaction is to take these shoes and dump them in the trash because these pieces of shit made my feet hurt, right? But the reality is, it's not the shoes' fault that they hurt you. It was your choice to put them on with your outfit. You're going to have to make it make sense for your life, because this is just a, I want to say, neutral picture that I'm planting in your head so that you can make it make sense to your reality. We all have apps, schools, organizations, committees, groups, peoples, places, mindsets, things that we have been wearing, and it's hurt us. And our instant reaction is going to be like, it's your fault. And the reality, it's not their fault. It's not its fault. It's you. You chose them. And so, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to tell you is just to take a pause when you want to like lash out and scream out and bitch out and go crazy. Take a pause this Tuesday and, for a while, right? Because what they're telling you is, why did you choose that to begin with? Who were you accommodating for? Why do you accommodate for this? Is there something that you need to heal within yourself? Do you feel uncomfortable with being okay with saying no? All these things are coming up because you're being told, hey, don't shoot the messenger. These people, places, things, apps, energies, etc., the damn shoes are just a messenger. Why is this message coming towards you? And then fix that, right? I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you with that. And that you make the choices that are not going to bring death, destruction, sadness, stagnation in your life. And you choose things that are going to help you amplify, multiply, expand, and grow. All right, so we get to Wednesday. Wednesday the 15th. The only significant thing is that the moon will still be in Leo. Now, one thing that I do have to tell you that is a positive of the moon in Leo. You are very attractive. In other words, people will want to talk to you. People will want to listen. People will want to acknowledge and and connect with you, especially if you have very strong Leo placements in your birth chart, because you are shining a little bit brighter than anybody else. So take advantage of it. If you're not a specific Leo, check out where your Leo placement is and the house that it's located in. can strongly tell you where you can really cash out, is the best way to say, on this energy of the moon in Leo. I hope this helps. All right, so now we get to Thursday the 16th, and the moon starts moving away from the sign of Leo and moves into the sign of Virgo. Whenever the moon enters the sign of Virgo, we are checklist people, right? We're very grounded and secure, and we're creating checklists to get things done. This is very tactful, very manageable, very let's get things done quickly. That is the energy of this energy of the moon in Virgo. Besides that, Mars is in Scorpio, and we know that we've been in that energy where the water fighter is connected to the warrior energy of Mars. And then it creates a trine, so a return of energy, and the return of energy is Mars in our north node. Whew. This is you really facing, putting face to face um your desires for your destiny, for your future, right? It's really coming in front of you. You're being told, is this what you want? And because it's a triangulation of energy and it's a very aggressive energy, it's a confrontation of whoever or whatever has been limiting you from being able to be that person, to aspire to that dream, to accomplish that goal. So it's kind of like, let's say, um, right here, we're checking our lists, we're doing our work, we're very, very like, oh, what is that word I want to say? Um, where we're just getting things done, right? Uh, and then we're very fiery, we're very active, yada, yada, whole mess of stuff. And here comes that person, the one that always comes to try to sabotage you. Boom, to try to sabotage you again. And you're in this Mars and Scorpio energy. So I think that would be a bad idea because it's a clashing of energies, right? There's also this energy of maybe you being able to move forward, you being able to express yourself and blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden that body part that always hurts acts up and it makes you feel like you can't do something. And usually that knocks you down a couple of pegs and you don't want to do anything. But now you're like, hells no, I'm not going to let you fight. I mean, stop me. I'm going to fight for what it is that I want. I will wake up early. I will do this work. I will accomplish those goals. I will move forward because nothing's going to hold me back. So all the actions you were taking, especially on this day of Thursday, is kind of like a proclamation for yourself as to the future that you are going to fight for. And this is something very important. There is a lot of work out there about the secret, manifestation, fake it till you make it, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, it's not just a mindset. It's doing it even though it hurts. Doing it even though you don't see outcomes. Doing it even though you feel limited. Doing it no matter how much you are being held back by yourself, by your environment, by the people, places, things, and energies that might be around you. Who cares? Who cares what it is? But it's like, are you going to continue doing that work? Because a lot of people want the lives of other people, but nobody is willing to sacrifice and do the work that another one did to get there, right? And so I need you guys to keep that in mind because it is one where you're being confronted with your destiny and you're being told, I don't know if you're worth having it. You deserve it. And you have to prove to yourself that you do. All right, so we get to Friday the 17th. Friday the 17th, the moon is still in Virgo. So we're still very productive. We're still very eager doing our work, etc. Now, in this day, the sun in Libra, the sun has been in Libra, but the sun in Libra is actually going to be important because we're seeing clearly what needs to be balanced out in our lives, right? Because this is what this Libra season is all about, getting the eyes to see what has been limiting us. But then what happens is a square. And I told you guys the square is the wall that gets placed in front of you. And the square is in Jupiter. Jupiter is the energy of good fortune, good luck, expansion, the desires and the wishes that you have for your future, right? And there's also an opposition. So a wave. So you're in this energy where you're seeing a block or a wall that is not letting you reach that wish, that desire, that good luck, that good favor. And you're getting hit with a wave of opposition that is linked to Chiron, which is your wound. So you're starting to notice how every single time you are starting to move forward, here comes a wall to block you from your happily ever after because there's still a wound that you carry. One that makes you revisit that person, fester and linger in wounds of the past, make you feel unworthy, make you feel less than. And that Chiron also has an influence with Mercury being also in the sign of Scorpio. Mercury in the sign of Scorpio is like you're getting downloads, like so much information. And the information has to do with a return of that North Node energy that we saw the day before. So you're being called 2 days in a row to see how much you've given up your power, how much you've limited yourself, how much you've restricted yourself, how much you've allowed to stop you. And this can be as easy like, I just need 5 more minutes of sleep. I'm going to spend 2 hours scrolling to social media instead of doing something else that I want to do. I leave something for the next day. I keep thinking about that person that attacked me so many years ago. I worry that I'm not safe. And the focus of all these things are actually stopping us from our happily ever after. I recently saw this person that said, we have a threshold that we are allow ourselves in happiness because our lives are set up to reach happiness, but our lives are not set up to live the life that is happy. So, and as soon as we get that happiness, we create a chaotic situation through manifestation, through our subconscious, right? A perceived threat, a perceived problem that we trigger because what we want is to stop ourselves from being more happy. And that's a subconscious thought because we picked where that ceiling is. So all these feelings that you get these days in this week, ask yourself, why am I limiting myself to this? Why don't I want to give myself more? And don't just say, no, I declare that this is what it is. Because you know what? I am statements and declarations are shit if your inner self doesn't believe it. So talk to your inner self. Why do you want to limit us? Why do you want to restrict us? And journal about it and write it all the time so then you can find out why it is that you allow this for yourself. And finally, you can start breaking through these thresholds. I hope this helps. Saturday, the 18th, presents itself to be a pretty easy day. For we are in the moon in Virgo, and that's really all that we have to worry about this day. I mean, honestly, with Thursday and Friday and how much of a ego crush it is, um, having a normal routine day where you're just taking care of what you need to take care of and not be limited, it's a good thing. So focus on getting the things done, checking those lists, being productive, and just moving forward because it's been a pretty heavy week. I hope this helps. And we end the week with this Sunday, the 19th, where the moon starts transitioning out of Virgo and into Libra. And keep in mind that the sun is also in Libra. So your mind, your body, your spirit is all about temperance, knowing how to balance yourself out emotionally, physically, mentally, so that you can get ready for the following week. So I feel like based on this week's forecast, Saturday and Sunday are very much the times to just chill and recalibrate yourself and get yourself ready for the following shifts that are taking place the following week. So take advantage of it, calm down, breathe through, and balance yourself out. I hope this helps.